First, more legal troubles for the doomsday cult mom, Lori Vallow Daybell.
The evidence was in black and white. This wasn't made up evidence. This was in Chad's. His fingers typed that. His mind told his fingers what to do. His mind made up all that bullcorn that he was preaching to Lori about. It was 15-year-old mentality. It was nauseating. Yeah, it really was.
She was playing the game with him. That's what she did. That's what we see. She played the game.
And just weeks after being convicted of killing her two children, Tylee and JJ, the doomsday cult mom, Lori Vallow Daybell, she now faces a brand new indictment.
She faces 2 new counts of conspiracy stemming from a shooting targeting Brandon Bourdeaux, the ex-husband of her niece, Melanie Pawlowski. Court TV's Ted Rowlands takes a look back at how Bourdeaux became entangled in this alleged conspiracy.
Brandon Bourdeaux and his wife Melanie seem to be happily married, raising their children, when Brandon says Melanie started going down a very dark path based on the religious beliefs she shared with her aunt, Lori Vallow.
Their focus is just so much on the end of the world, and, you know, this idea that it's coming just makes you sad. You know, like a lot of people you care about aren't here anymore because of these ideas.
He has to be very concerned about what the implications are for him and his kids.
Robertson said at first Brandon didn't think much about Melanie and Lori Vallow's fascination with Chad Daybell and his beliefs about the end of the world.
But it did seem to start getting more and more extreme as Melanie started making statements about Brandon and how he was being possessed by outside forces, and that she attributed a lot of things, started seeing him as an evil person.
Brandon and Melanie ended up getting divorced, and then on October 2nd.
911, where's your emergency?
Someone just shot my window.
Did you see the guy that
I didn't see who it was.
Brandon had dropped off his kids, and he was coming back from the gym to his house. And as he pulled up to his house, he was still kind of in the street. And as he pulled up to the curb, a shot came from a nearby Jeep that was parked on the opposite side of the street.
The bullet hit Brandon's Tesla, missing his head by a few inches. The shooter's Jeep with Texas plates was registered to Lori Vallow's ex-husband, Charles, who, at the time, had been dead for more than 2 months, shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Brandon says he didn't get a good look at the shooter, but believes he knows who it was.
He believes that Alex Cox was the person who fired that shot. And he knew that Alex Cox was kind of the family hitman. And he just fairly quickly came to the conclusion that it was Alex Cox.
A few weeks after the attempt on Brandon's life, Melanie moved out of her home. Alex Cox was there with a U-Haul, helping her move. Melanie left behind her children's toys and bedding, leaving the children with Brandon. Melanie is now remarried and fighting for partial custody of her children. She claims she didn't have anything to do with the attempt on Brandon's life or what happened to Lori Vallow's missing children, Tylee and JJ.
And here to break it all down for us is Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Hey, Matt, talk to us about this indictment and what this means for Lori.
Wow, more trouble for cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell, now facing more charges and 2 murder trials down the road in Arizona. Last month, Vallow was convicted in the murders of her children, Tylee, JJ, and husband's first wife, Tammy Daybell. With the recently unsealed indictment, we are now getting more details in the attempted murder of her nephew by marriage, Brandon Bourdeaux. According to the indictment, Lori Vallow, on or about October 2nd, 2019, with the intent to aid or commission, agreed with Alex Cox, her brother, that at least one of them would engage in conduct for the offense of first-degree premeditated murder of Brandon Bourdeaux. Alex Cox, Lori's brother, died 2 months after allegedly trying to kill Bourdeaux. He was described, as you heard there, as Lori and Chad's hitman during that murder trial that just wrapped up last month.
Right, and he testified during that trial. Matt, you were there. What did he have to say? How did he describe this shooting and what he thought about it?
He had a lot to say. He testified about his near-death experience. It happened while being married to Lori's niece, Melanie. Melanie was a Chad Daybell follower and wanted to be like Aunt Lori. The allegation is that the indictment, according to the indictment, is that during the custody battle and divorce, Lori asked Alex to kill Brandon. Brandon testified about his near-death experience, that attempted murder at the trial. Take a listen.
As I came around the corner, I noticed there was a Jeep parked right in front of my driveway. As I drove forward, the window came up and I saw a gun with what looked like a silencer, heard a bang, and my driver's side window shattered.
So detectives testified that there was a modified Jeep that belonged to Chad Daybell. He took out the seats, made it sniper-friendly for Alex, and the description of that Jeep is what led detectives in Arizona to Rexburg, Idaho, and that's how they became involved in the welfare check for Tylee and JJ.
Wow. Okay, well, Matt, tell us what we can expect to see next for Lori Vallow.
So much. Lori Vallow will be sentenced in about a month on July 31st for the murders of her kids, JJ and Tylee, and Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Then it's off to Arizona, where she will be extradited and awaiting trial in the Bourdeaux case. And she faces murder charges in the death of Charles Vallow, husband number 4, who told police before being killed by Lori's brother that he was really worried about being murdered. Take a listen.
She's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. We're LDS. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a god. You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers.
And it was the cold nature of Lori after her 4th husband's death that was a big part of the last murder trial. It's going to be a big part of the upcoming trial in Arizona, better believe it. Lori left that house after he was killed, went shopping, got fast food with Tylee, took JJ to school, and then came home where she was calm and all smiles. Remember this?
We just moved in here.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here?
I'm sorry?
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi, neighbor, sorry.
Are you working at all?
No.
Okay. And you're still about 5'6"? 120?
What? And then she's smiling. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we just moved in. Sorry, neighbors." Her husband, her 4th husband, has just been killed by her brother. We're told by Maricopa County in Arizona that the extradition process should take several months after sentencing in Idaho. So, of course, we'll keep you posted. A few more trials to get through with Cult Mom.
Matt, thanks so much. Cross-country trials that are taking place in this one. Thanks so much. Also joining us to talk about this hour, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Burkhart. Franz, so good to see you on Fridays with Franz. Let's talk about this case and how it moves forward. So we have the sentencing, and that'll at least be the end of the first trial against Lori Vallow Daybell. But these other trials, these prosecutors waited on the indictment, even though they happened around the same time as the other cases that she was convicted on. How does, if there are plea talks, and you can tell me if you think that there should be plea talks, what would her defense attorney do next if he is wanting a plea for her?
Well, first, happy Friday, ladies. Second, you know, there's all sorts of things to negotiate, right? Presumably, she's going to get a life sentence at her sentencing. So maybe the conversation is some kind of concurrent time. Maybe the conversation is, hey, do you really want to spend the next X amount of time in Arizona? Whatever facility she gets shipped to is probably going to be better in terms of amenities than what she's been staying in. So that sometimes is a part of the conversations. All seems like trivial things to most of us law-abiding citizens, but these are negotiating points, right? But she's playing, if she gets a life sentence, though, she's kind of playing with house money. I mean, what's her incentive at that point to take a deal? Because ultimately, the outcome of those cases may not have a bigger effect on her.
And Franz, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you often say, oh, it can't get much worse, and then it does. But already she is facing a life sentence. So really, what do you have to work with? And plus, just in general, she just seems so, and has throughout this whole process, just detached from reality and what actually is taking place. So I don't know. It doesn't look good for her, but it really, she's already facing a life sentence.
So, you know, a good defense attorney is going to tell her, well, you know, you have your appeal, and, you know, even if there's a snowball's chance in nothing, that's going to happen, you know, you may not want to plead guilty, because if you plead guilty, then that could affect a future case if your conviction ever gets turned over. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there's just not a lot of incentive for her. And look, it's always the resurrected beings that think that they're gods that are the ones you got to watch, right? And that tells you everything you need to know about this lady. She does look detached. She doesn't look like she's really fully aware of what's going on. Doesn't mean that she has a mental health defense, but it certainly means that she may be making decisions that just aren't rational.
And Franz, I know you're not in Arizona. I'm not familiar right now with their law on insanity, but it could be different for her in a different state. You know, Idaho didn't have the option of insanity, but she fell in and out of competency. So someone felt that she wasn't able to help in her own defense. It's different than insanity, but we do know there were some issues there, but it couldn't be used to help her, in a sense, at trial. Things could change for her in Arizona, but also this is a different kind of case. This is one where the person lived, and we don't really have the eyewitnesses, so they're going to have to put Chad Daybell not only there, but then show that there was this conspiracy again between these two lovers.
Let me say this, guys. I think she absolutely had a hand in this. The problem is, this seems like an awfully big circumstantial evidence case. The fact that he had a car that was registered to her deceased ex-husband, is that enough? Is that enough? What more do they have? And I think there needs to be some significant, you know, and again, look, there may be significantly more that we don't know about, but on its face right now, it does feel like a circumstantial evidence case that is not as easy to connect the dots as some of her other cases.
Yeah, not easy to connect the dots. And again, just, you know, working with someone who, we talked about it, you know, she saw herself as this sexual goddess, use sex and power and to get people to do things for her. So just probably a difficult person to even maybe work with in general. You have any thoughts on that?
Well, difficult clients make for difficult trials. And
Definitely.
it may be that, hey, look, at the end of the day, she may shrug her shoulders and say, hey, guys, I'm not pleading anything, and I didn't do this. And, you know, there's certain things that she gets a say in the defense about, and then there's certain things she doesn't. She gets a say, she gets the say, guys, on whether or not she testifies or not. Strategy decisions, you know, the defense attorneys get to make those decisions. So I'm curious to see how difficult or problematic of a client that she is. But at the end of the day, still, she's got nothing to lose.
The one thing I think she might want, if they wanted to have any kind of a bargain chip with her, is if they allow her to communicate with Chad Daybell, which she doesn't get to do behind bars.